Hi, I'm Taylor from Backyard Kiln, and I'm going to show you how to make a jar that you will not have to trim from one lump of clay. And what you need is your clay, your wheel, your bat, and a heat gun or blowtorch.
So first I get it like mostly centered, but what we're really worried about is centering this section here. That looks dirty, sorry. So I just section the top sort of. There's no way this is making it past Instagram censors, is it? Okay. So we make a ball shape at the top. Then you bring down, not the whole thing, but some. And leave this little nub sticking up for your, for your handle. Now you can bring out the lid. Make it thinner. You can give it a shape, whatever shape you want. Refine the handle a little bit. That's cute. Just kind of getting the extra weight of the clay here out into the lid. This shouldn't require trimming when you're done, or minimal trimming. The lid definitely shouldn't require trimming. Feels pretty good. You're going to take your heat gun and dry it out enough that you can pick it up. That feels pretty good. Basically, you just don't want it to feel tacky. Make sure you get underneath. Now you take your needle tool and cut it off. Nope. Okay, we've got a lid that you can hold. That's important. Set that aside. Now you're going to throw your jar form, keeping in mind how wide you made the lid. This is just like a basic cylinder form, except that when you pull up, you're going to want to leave a little extra rim. More than you would on a bud. Like that. So you can make your gallery. This is going to be a garlic jar, so we want to make sure that there's enough space for several cloves of garlic in here, so belly it out a little. Alright, so now is when we start on the gallery. First thing I like to do is to grab the lid and just see if it's close to fitting. It's a little small, so we'll collar in. Start with one down and I'm kind of making like a diagonal down towards the middle of this rim. Getting pretty close. So I'm going to start to turn up the outside of this. Oop, just a little bit. So we kind of got like almost like a little J-shaped gallery. And I'm just using like the rounded part of my finger. So now we'll try to put the lid on again. That looks pretty close. Maybe I'll just bring it a little bit in. Just a tiny, tiny bit. I always keep wiping my hands off so I don't leave a bunch of slip all over this nice lid that I made. Alright, that looks pretty close. So, now, heat gun and rim. And I'm doing a little bit of heat gun on the inside as well because I want to make the drying like as even as possible with this process. Again, we're not trying to make it bone dry, just keep it from being deformed when we put the two pieces together. Looks pretty good. But we still. So because this is drier, you can turn it upside down and get your little trimming tool and trim it up a little bit. It's essentially a perfectly sized chuck for holding the lid. That's cute. I like the spiral. Okay. Now that clay in there is pretty much wet. So we're going to dry it again a little bit. Just enough that you can pick it up without, hopefully, gently, without deforming it. Looks great. Fits great. No trimming necessary. At the bottom here, well, first I'm going to get the slip off the outside here because this clay is marbled and I want that to be visible. Take your wooden knife, trim off as much of the bottom as we want to. Cute. It's a cute little shape. I like it. And then, to make it easier to remove from the back later, my friend Becca taught me this trick. You just barely run your needle tool around the bottom rim. Just kind of breaks the seal a little bit so that when it's dry, it will pop off the bat. You don't have to wire it off. You don't have to trim it. It's done. Done. Boom. Of course, you have to, turn it over and put your maker's mark on it. But there you go. A jar in one.
If you're wondering what to do next, once your piece is leather hard, you can gently tilt it so it starts to come off the bat without deforming it. If it starts to deform, wait longer. So you can see the bottom looks pretty good. I usually just run my finger around it, get off all the little boogity boos. That's the technical term. Finish it off with a damp sponge and my maker's mark. And voila. I'm just gonna smooth out any little rough or sharp bits that might have occurred. Same with the lid. I never want anybody to feel anything rough on our pots, right? Because, I don't know, if I pick up a rough piece, I put that piece back down pretty quick. I certainly don't buy it. All right, great. So this is a garlic jar, so I'm gonna use my big hole maker tool to stab a bunch of holes in it. There we go. They're a little bit sharp, so I'm just gonna go around with my finger and on the inside, go around the hole on the inside and go around the hole on the outside at the same time. Just to keep any sharpness at bay. You can also do this with a sponge. This clay is marbled. If I do that, I'm gonna create slip on the surface and then you will not be able to see the marbling as nicely, so